Let me introduce first, while you are preparing, to my colleagues.
Sure.
Francesco Mangani, kendisini de birazdan tanıtır. Benim bildiğim kadarıyla İtalyan Akademisi'nin başı, birçok şeyin başkanı zaten. Yani İtalya'ya gittiğinizde herhangi bir diş hekimine Francesco Mangani derseniz anlatır size. Hocaların hocasıdır. Büyük bir tecrübedir. Büyük bir tecrübedir. Onun için çok dikkatle dinlemenizi tavsiye edeceğim. Öyle kolay her zaman yakalayamayız. İstanbul'a gelmişlerdi. Edat'la beraber konuşmalar yapılmıştı. Çok hoş şeyler olmuştu ama herkes tabii katılamamıştı. Ben ondan da şimdi biraz rica ederim. Kısa bir özet yaparsa birazcık o da bize anlatır. Ama hala ayarlayamadı şeyin sesi. Okay.
So do you hear me this way or not?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Yes.
Okay. I will stay this way. My
Okay.
end will be blocked here.
Now
okay.
I try to introduce you a little bit, but if you can tell us a little bit your background, your small...
My background, sure.
Very shortly, but...
It says very shortly. I graduated in medicine and surgery in the very early 80s, in the 1980s. So I'm an old man. And then I got my postgraduate specialization in odontostomatology. All my studies in Rome. Then I moved many times in the United States. First of all, to learn endodontics in Boston University with Erd Schilder in Loma Linda. I had many courses on, my love still is, but it was gold restorations. So my big mentor was Dick Tucker in Washington State for cast gold restoration, then a gold foil restoration in Loma Linda with Darius Nepper, Bob Kinzer, Lloyd Baum, and all this unbelievable giant of the history of restorative dentistry. Then I came back to Italy and I met my mentor, my father in dentistry, Professor Martignoni, probably one of the most important prosthodontists in the history. And we just spent some time together, just 25 years together. 25 years working with him, close to him, learning from him. Unfortunately, not everything, but I learned a little bit. And then I started.
He's a father of Marco, huh?
Exactly, it's Marco's father. I remember Marco when he was a baby. So I'm like the old brother of many Italian dentists, very famous dentists, like Marco, like Fabio Gorni, like Antonio Cerruti, many of them.
Yeah.
And then I started my career in 1987 as a researcher, then as a professor, first in endodontics and then in restorative dentistry, where in my university, the University of Rome Tor Vergata, and that's all. But what I like to tell you that, first of all, I'm a good singer. I am.
You are a president of Academy of
Yes, I've been the president of the Italian Society of Conservative Dentists, and now I am the president of the Italian Academy of Conservative Dentists and Restorative Dentists, and this is my big honor because this academy is not my opinion, but I think the value of our academy is well known and well renowned all over the world.
Yeah. Let me a little bit translation.
Yes.
1980'den beri çalışıyor. 40 yıllık bir tecrübe. Amerika'da uzun zaman yaşamış. endodontiyle de uğraşmış ama esas sevdiği şey altın restorasyonlar. O altın foil'larla, altın varaklarla yapılan dolguların piridir. Inlay'ler, onlay'ler. Sonra Roma'ya dönmüş ve oradaki üniversitede çalışmalarını devam etmiş şimdiye kadar. Şimdi de İtalyan Konservatif Akademisi'nin başkanıdır şu anda ve büyük onur duyduğunu söylüyor. Yes, my dear.
And let me thank you for this kind invitation. I cannot show you, but I think I can. At the end, I want to show you something.
I know.
Remember me. It's just behind me. It's there. It's behind me. I want to show you now, and I'll be back. Look.
Okay. You are in Rome in your house.
Yes, I'm in Rome in my house. And this is something that you gave me. You remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was wonderful how your reconstruction and
Yes.
finished. I
Yes.
saw it. It's very
Just on time with to be back home with this pandemic. Just on time.
Yeah.
We're still waiting for some furniture, but it's okay.
But I saw it's very good finished. Yes.
Thank you. So, my friend.
I thank you first of all to accept my invitation.
No, my
Because
pleasure.
you are very valuable people in around the world, in Europe mainly, but on my heart is a different place. Huh? Thank you very much.
No, I thank you. Thank you very much. And I want to say hello to all my friends from Turkey. I have so many friends there. You are in my heart, everywhere,
Yes.
every time. I remember you with so much love, and all the other friends. Thanks for joining us tonight. Okay.
Okay. What can we tell to young people who watch us? These are the students. We have a lot of students.
Yeah.
New graduated people, new doctors. They want to hear about you, something precious.
You know, when I'm faced with students, that's my word. I can say 90% of my professional life with students. And that's what I love more. Because students are pure minds. They just absorb everything. So our responsibility is to send them correct messages. Yeah. What can I suggest? What I would like to suggest to young people is to be ready to study deeply all the fundamental concepts of the dentistry before moving in the so-called fashion era, in the trendy era, and in the world of softwares, of everything. It's an amazing world, but to be able to obtain the best from this world, you need to study a lot and to know everything about, I don't want to say traditional dentistry, I want to say real dentistry first. Then you will manage at the very top level all the unbelievable devices that you will have in your next life, in your next professional life. But first of all, don't forget to study, always. The day you will feel arrived, you will end. Okay, I will stop.
I know. I will forget. Çok kısacık genç arkadaşlarım için neler söylersin, neler tavsiye edersin diye sordum. Çok iyi eğitim almalarını, çok iyi çalışmalarını tavsiye ediyor. Ellerinde çok güçlü sosyal medya gibi güçlü araçlar var ama onlara derinlemesine onlara dalmadan önce diş hekimliğinin ana prensiplerini öncelikle edinmelerini tavsiye ederim diyor. Yes, please.
And that's all. That's what they need to know is that in the future, in the very next years, they will be faced with a completely different dentistry that we were used to, because dentistry is changing so fast that it's very difficult for an old man as I am to go back to this kind of dentistry. But it's for we old people, the new dentistry is the reason why we want to continue to work, because we can get from this new era new enthusiasm. But for the young people, I suggest, but it's very easy to do it, never stop studying.
Okay.
Never.
Okay. Hiçbir zaman çalışmayı bırakmayın diyor. Yes, what we can show them as a principles.
You know, I think I participate in these 2 months, staying at home, in many webinars, many discussions about indirect restorations. And I would like to show that this, especially to the young people,
Okay.
that many concepts are not new. Nobody invented anything. And since I'm very old, I can demonstrate what I say.
Okay.
Because this is one of the more fashion topic. Every day we can hear something different about materials, about cavity preparations, about cementation. Let's talk about this.
Okay.
If you agree. If you
Okay.
agree.
Let's small translation.
Yeah.
Ben diyor yaşlı bir diş hekimi olduğum için, tabii evveliyatını da bildiğim için, her dakika özellikle sosyal medyada yeni bir takım şeyler, moda akımlar geliyor. Bunlar preparasyon olabilir, sementasyon olabilir. Bunlarla ilgili hiçbir şey henüz öyle o kadar yeni de değil. Öyle yeniden bulunmuş gibi lanse ediliyor. Öyle bir şey yok. Bunlar zaten vardı aslında. Diş hekimliği çok çabuk şekil değiştirmesine rağmen bazı genel konseptlerde çok fazla bir değişiklik olmuyor. Özellikle preparasyon gibi. Onun için onların üzerinden isterseniz bir geçelim diyor. Yeah.
You know, why I like to talk about this, because there are too many opinions about that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the story, what is very important is the long-lasting results. And I'm still waiting to see long-lasting results about what opinions suggest. It's quite different.
Tamam, mühim olan uzun dönem takipleri. Okay.
And you know, in the last 10 years, more or less, we always, when we talk about posterior restorations, we many times, most of the times, we are used to be faced with abraded, eroded teeth. My question is, all the decayed teeth disappeared from our world? You don't have decayed teeth in your office, or you have only abraded, eroded teeth, or you are every day faced with destroyed teeth. It's something different.
Yeah. Okay. Her zaman abrazyon, erozyon gelmiyor arkadaşlar diyor. Yani çürük de var bu işin içinde. Sanki hiçbir zaman böyle bir şeyler yokmuş. Yani dağılmış dişler yokmuş gibi, sadece erozyon ve abrazyon vakaları görüyoruz diyor çoğunlukla. Halbuki genel diş hekimliğini, günlük diş hekimliğinde sadece bunlar yok. Okay.
You know, Engin, you know, we know each other since a long time now. And I would like, if you can, to show some pictures, so it will be easier for me. Like, yes, like this, and also if you can show the number 2, for example.
Okay.
It's because why I say that it's so important, and this is not an opinion, it's not my opinion. Why it's so important for young people, but for everybody, to understand that the cavity design is still very important. is still very important. It's too easy to say that we bond everything in very easy situations like braided, eroded teeth, and much more when we have a lot of enamel where to bond. I agree. It's very easy and successful many times. But unfortunately, in our everyday practice, we are not faced only with this. I don't know in your country.
Sorry. Her zaman mineyi bulamıyoruz diyor. Biliyoruz ki mine olduğu zaman bonding her zaman çok daha rahat ama günlük diş hekimliğinde her zaman böyle bir şey bulamıyoruz. Okay?
And I've spent years and years of my life with the engineers of my university to study with the finite element analysis, where the stresses are concentrated every time we open a cavity, a 2-wall cavity, 3-wall cavities, just an occlusal cavities, or a full coverage cavity, where the stress goes. And this is so important, not only on the side of the tooth. That's why I say, for me, the cavity preparation is still the most important moment of all the technique.
Okay. Bir kavite açtığımız zaman bu bir duvarlı olabilir, bir yüzlü, iki yüzlü, üç yüzlü olabilir. Daha biz bu kaviteyi açarken kavite kenarlarında oluşan stresleri burada görüyor. Buradaki işaretler, şuradaki işaretlere göre stresleri gösteriyor. Bu stresleri bilmeliyiz. Nerelerde ne stresler oluşabilir? Bunlardan başlamalıyız diyor. Okay.
And what is more important is to be able to understand that we have two phases. We need to take care of the remaining tooth structure, and then according to this, we need to design a very good cavity. We will see what I mean. But more, we need also to think to the resistance of the restoration. Engine, if you click, you will see the restoration. Because
bunlar restorasyonlar, onlar kaviteler, bunlar restorasyonlar. Okay.
Because at the end of the story is the combination of the two things, the cavity prep with the restoration in. At the end, we want to look just at the biomechanical behavior of these two things together.
Bunlar ikisi birleştiğinde biyomekanik rezistansları, dirençleri ortaya çıkacak beraberce. Okay?
So, just to show you something very easy, and I'm sure that it's your normal life, as my normal life as a dentist, the concept of block out through composite resin, probably a lot of people used to call this concept build up, but the original concept you will see comes from more than 50 years ago. Again, nobody invented anything. My mentor, my teacher in cast gold restoration, the great, the unique Dick Tucker Sr. teaches us that it's very simple if you block out the cavity. And I will talk about this, if you agree, Engine. I think it's very important when we are faced with the destroyed cavities, not healthy teeth that we want to restore just to open the video or something like that.
Okay. Sadece oklüzyon yükseltmesi için yapılan o abraze dişlerin üzerlerine gelen o endirekt restorasyonlar değil, asıl bu tarz her günkü karşılaşabileceğimiz derin kavite preparasyonlarındaki o block out sistemlerini, o konsepti irdelemek lazım.
What is always in my life, what is always in my mind, sorry, is the concept that my mentor gave me. Don't let the decay decide the final cavity design. You must decide the final cavity design, not the decay. And you can see how much it's easy to understand this concept in these very simple images. If you ever, this is a section just to explain, but if you have a big decay like this, and you remove it completely. Then if you want to perform an indirect restoration, you have to remove a lot of earthy tissue, as you can see in the picture. But if you fill up with the so-called synthetic dent and the composite, block out. Why block out and not build up? Because Dick Tucker used to say, you need to block out the undercuts, because this is the only way that will allow you to save a lot of healthy tooth structure. This is the concept.
Okay, let me little bit translate. It's difficult now.
I know.
Şimdi arkadaşlar kavite dizaynını çürüğe bırakmayın diyor. Yani kaviteyi dizayn edecek olan sizsiniz. Çürük derinde kocaman çürük var. Oraya ulaşmak için dişten kocaman bir madde kaybetmektense sadece çürüğü önce temizleyip ondan sonra doldurup daha sonra kavite preparasyonuna bakmak birçok sağlıklı dokuyu heba etmenin önüne geçecektir. Okay.
And you know what? If you go back just on the image, for example, number 4, just to let me show them what the blowout is.
Okay, number 4 is that one. Yeah.
It's normal that you can see here that this composite blockout is always in the same position. I could show you, I can say, thousands of images where the blockout is always on the pulpal wall or the axial wall. It's normal, because the decay looks for the pulp. That's why we need to restore first all the walls that have been destroyed by the decay.
Okay. Okay, you can continue, then I will translate.
And again, the concept that it's the clinician doing this is the main actor of the story, because we will decide where to put our margin. We will decide when we have to cover or not to cover a cusp. Just evaluating the remaining structure. If we will be faced just with enamel, for sure we will cover. If we will face and we will be able to block with composite enamel and dentin, not undermined cusp, we will not need cover.
Okay. Okay. Şimdi aynı şeyler bu kavite dizaynını belirleyecek olan çürüğün durumu değil, bizler olmalıyız. Bu blockout yapıldıktan sonra durumu tekrar kontrol edip oradaki stresler göz önüne alınıp duvarların durumu göz önüne alıp hangi duvarın kaldırılacağı, hangi duvarın üzerine overlay gibi geleceği restorasyonun şekline bizim karar vermemiz lazım. Okay.
And I know that probably somebody is now thinking this kind of preparation destroyed the tooth. Let me tell you, it's not true. Every time you prepare a cavity, you need to take care of the resistance form of the remaining structure. When I say resistance form, I'm not referring this word to the old black concept. I'm saying something different. That you are putting your restoration on a cavity prep that will be a good one for a long-lasting result, not just for a short time, but for a very long time. Because if you have to remove something that are not very resistant, you will do it. But if you can save it, again, you can do it with this very simple approach.
Okay. Buradaki gibi arkadaşlar bu fazla sanki madde kaybettirilmiş gibi gözüken bazı arkadaşlar bunları gördüğü zaman buradan çok fazla madde kaybettirilmiş der. Fakat bu doğru değildir. Biz eski black kavite sistemlerini konuşmuyoruz. Burada uzun vadeli uzun ömürlü restorasyonlar nasıl yaparız? Bunu konuşuyoruz. Dolayısıyla bazı durumlarda ileriye dönük uzun vadeli restorasyonlar olabilmesi için bazı yerlerde biraz daha fazla preparasyon yapmamız gerekebilir. Okay.
And if you go on the slide 14, for example.
Let's go to 14th. That one.
You can see easily, you can see different kind of finishing lines. You can see different kind of preparation.
Yeah.
And this kind of preparation are designed respecting a very clear, correct geometry. When I say geometry, I don't want to say that you need to destroy this, because you can see shoulder, flat, finishing line, chamfer finishing line. There are 4 different. It depends. It depends what kind of remaining structure you are faced with. You cannot say, I always do this, that. You need to decide every time in a different way.
Okay.
And when we, with my friend, if you go just the next 2, 3, just I want to show them. When years ago, when with my friends Mario Semenza, it's a great Italian dentist, an unbelievable dentist. It's not human. If you look at his preparations or his impressions, you will remain astonished about the quality. When we presented this so-called biomechanically supported addition, this kind of preparation, we didn't invent anything. And we have seen that a lot of people is now inventing this kind of preparation that we published it 4 years ago. But that somebody published it more than 50 years ago.
Wow.
Our mentor. This is, if you look at this kind of preparation, it's a typical prep.
Sorry.
Typical prep.
Yeah. Bunu 50 yıl önce yayınlamışlar bunu. Bu tarz yayınlar 50 yıl önce bile yapılmış. Bu çok yeni bir şey değil arkadaşlar. Okay.
Go please on the next one and let them the pictures go by themselves.
Okay.
You can see here how easy it can be. I know this is a model just to demonstrate this kind of preparation, but first of all, look, we are using only one burr, only one. It's a bullet.
Tek bir fres. Okay.
It's a bullet burr, diamond burr. With this burr, you can design the whole cavity.
Bütün kavite bununla yapılabiliyor. Yeah.
Just imagine, this is a model again, but imagine a destroyed tooth with a very deep pulpal wall, with a very deep axial wall, then you need to cover the cusp. How can you cover them if you just prepare a flat pulpal wall, just blocking with a little bit of flow composite the undercut? It's impossible.
Possible, yes. Bir sadece şeyde burada keskin bir kenar preparasyonu yapıp bunu restore etmeye kalkarsanız, yani bu taraflara doğru genişletmezseniz bu kaviteyi, buraları yatırmazsanız, bunun üzerine overlay tarzı gelmezseniz, bu nasıl uzun vadeli bir çalışma olabilir? Okay.
Did we invented a new cavity design? We invented nothing. We just copied and transferred from our teacher the typical overlay prep for cast gold restoration, changing the concept. If you go in the next one, they will clear understand what I'm saying. You can see here, look, this is the typical overlay prep for cast gold restoration designed by Dick Tucker. Just once you prepare the class 2 MOD cavities, if you want to translate, you can.
Ya, Bu hiç deminki şeye bakarsanız hiçbir şey biz icat etmedik. 40-50 sene önceki altın inleylerdeki prensibi buraya uyarladık. Yani birazcık daha bir vestibüle ve linguale doğru yaydık. Buradaki diyagramlarda da altın inleylerle ilgili kavite preparasyonunu görüyoruz. Okay.
And you blocked out your cavity with composite resin, where the decay destroyed the sound deep dentin.
Okay. Derindeki çürüğü, kaviteyi kompozitle kapatıyoruz. Block out yapıyoruz. Okay.
Using exactly the same burr that we are using nowadays. Dick Tucker used it 50 years ago.
Aşağı yukarı aynı frezi 50 yıl önce de Tucker kullanmış.
And nowadays, it's so sad to listen that somebody invented what? You see the internal reduction of the cusps, then the external reduction. I agree, and I'm being very happy, Engine, when your guest was Didier Dici, a guy that I respect more than a lot.
Yeah, me too.
When he said, and I agree with him, this is the best preparation you can perform. But it comes from years and
years ago. Yes.
And as you can see, the only modification you need to do is just to round all the angles, and it's finished. Okay. That's all. And what I did with Mario Semenza, because once we met and we said, we love this preparation because we are familiar with this preparation. But just I don't want to bore you with researches, but I want to show you something. If you compare, as we did, because nowadays we can use this kind of material. You agree with me? Lithium disilicate, LDS, zirconia, or composite resins. How this kind of preparation can work with them. And we studied, as I did for all my life, with the engineer, trying to understand where the stresses would be transferred on the healthy remaining tooth. This is important to me.
Yeah. Evet, en baştaki gibi yani zirkonyum olsun, kompozit olsun, porselen olsun, böyle bir restorasyon yaptığımızda beni esas ilgilendiren bu streslerin nerelere gideceği, nerelerde dağılacağı diyor. Ben böyle bir şey hiç düşünmemiştim. Adam bizi bayağı bir öğretecek bunları ya. Süper. Evet.
This is not a lecture, so I cannot go deeply, you know. But just let me show them.
Deep lecture. Okay. Very good for me.
Let me show them something that is not the truth. It's something that we need to think about.
Yeah.
The finite element analysis, they are not the truth of everything, but they give us the way to think about what we do every day. That's why the engineers are very familiar with them, not dentists for sure.
Okay.
But let's show them just the number 27 and 26 and 27, just to show them only two of the many kind of different preparations we studied. You see this? This is the typical overlay, the same that you have seen. Imagine, again, I want to be precise, this is a model, but
Okay.
many times, imagine a post-endo restoration. You will be faced with such situation a lot of times. You really think that you can prepare a flat floor? How deep? How much thickness for the restoration? And every time your proximal walls will be safe, then you need to explain me why you gave endodontic treatment to your patient, because many times we give endo because we have very deep proximal lesions in these teeth. So we need geometry, not because we decide, but because the problem, the pathology, decided that we need to design interproximal cavities too.
Okay. Bu genellikle post-endo kanal tedavi dişlerin preparasyonlarında da bu şekilde kaviteler olduğu için ve bu kaviteler genellikle de derinlerde olduğu için aproksimalde biz geometriyi göz önüne almalıyız. Açıları göz önüne almalıyız. Stresleri göz önüne almalıyız. Buna göre dizaynları yapmalıyız. Okay?
Again, I want to underline, I'm not talking about tabletop restorations. I'm not talking about weird, eroded teeth. I'm talking about destroyed teeth by decay. That's our everyday job. It's 90% of our job.
Okay, let me translate. Şimdi gene oraya gidiyor iş. Devamlı abraze dişler görüyorsunuz. Özellikle sosyal medyada dikey boyutu yükseltmek için tabletoplar yapılıyor. Efendim
And if you go into 29 and 30, you can see easily.
Okay, let me finish first.
Yeah, sure.
İnce şeyler yapılıyor. Günlük sanki böyle diş hekimliği buymuş zannediliyor. Halbuki söylediği doğru tabii. O %90 diyor. Hadi %80-70 olsun. Günlük diş hekimliğinde derin çürük kaviteleriyle karşılaşıyoruz. Derin çürük kavitelerini başka bir gözle bakmak lazım. Çürükten oluşmuş kaviteler bunlar. Ona göre dizaynları daha doğru, düzgün yapmak lazım. Okay.
Just show me the 29.
That was the 28, this one?
29.
I don't know which one, sorry.
Yes, the
29,
next one.
that
Next
one.
one. This one.
This one.
You see, we just to show you, you see the scale of colors is the more you go to the white grain and the highest part of the scale, it's the higher stress.
Yeah,
And
these are the higher stress.
No, the higher stress is on the gray on the top. Yes.
These are the higher stress.
Yes, the higher
These
stress.
are higher stress, yes.
And
Açık renkler çok stres, koyu renkler az stres. Okay.
And you can see that if you prepare a shoulder, a flat shoulder, 90-degree shoulder, when you decide that you want to do that, it's a very, very used, very common preparation. A lot of colleagues, in my opinion, destroy teeth doing this kind of preparation.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's very common to see this kind of preparation. Do you agree with me? And
nowadays, I don't think so. These 90 degrees, they are doing a little bit chamfers, no?
okay, there's a round corner inside, and it's not 9, but it's a round corner, exactly. And you can see that how from the part of the restoration, both zirconia and LDS are very stressed, and for sure it's normal. Same as the composite, a little bit less, but I'm not interested in this. Because nowadays, providing correctly the thickness of this restoration, all of this material can work. But what I'm much more interested in is how much stress through this kind of materials arrives in the remaining structure. And if you go in the other part of the slide, if you click.
Okay, let me translate. Dediği gibi geri kalan, yani kavite duvarındaki preparasyon haricindeki kalan duvarlardaki stres çok önemli. Okay.
You see, if you prepare a shoulder, or if you prepare just the reduction as I showed you with the bullet burr, with the double internal and external side of the cusp reduction, more or less is the same result. But go in the next one, because this is important to me. Go in the next one.
Okay.
And you will see how the material can influence dramatically the residual structure. Composite resin is in a very low stress under the restoration. Go on.
Okay. Kompozit rezin de en az stres olan malzeme.
Look at the zirconia now.
Zirkonya'ya bakalım. Zirkonya'da bayağı bir stresler oluyor. Veya
And the LDS too.
LDS, lithium.
Very stressful on the remaining structure. So
bunlar geri kalan, yani kavite duvarlarındaki geri kalan bölgelerde olan stresler, malzemenin kendi stresi değil. Bir kompozit rezini restore edildiğinde geri kalan duvarlarda bu stres, zirkonya restore edildiğinde duvarlardaki stres ve lityum disilikatla restore edildiğindeki duvarlardaki stres. Okay.
So what does it mean? It means that we can perform this kind of preparation with the double reduction, very conservative, but we need to be sure that under our restoration, we have a very resistant remaining structure. Otherwise, we are risking to fracture everything.
Okay. Bu şekilde davranmazsak bütün duvarları kırma, çatlatma riskine almış oluyoruz. Okay?
And this is very simple to be understood, because if you use LDS or zirconia, very rigid materials.
Very what?
Very rigid. Very
rigid.
hard.
Evet, çok
Yes.
sert malzemeler. Bunları anlamak zor değil. Bunlar tabii çok sert malzemeler kompozite göre. Yes.
And if you prepare with the shoulder, in the next images you can see, onto the shoulder, all the stress will arrive there.
Yeah, these are the yellow market, huh?
Yeah. No, this is the gray one.
Gray
Yes,
one.
but you have some stress also if you use composite. It's not a problem.
Evet, bu buralara gelen stresler en fazlaları. Bakın buralarda en çok stresli olan yerler bu şeylerde, omuzlarda ve shoulder'larda ve basamaklarda. Okay.
And if you look at the zirconia and the LDS, nothing changed.
Bu zirkonya ve lityum disilikatta da çok fazla bir şey değişmiyor. Oralarda da o basamaklarda en büyük stresler var. Okay.
So what I think from my experience, but also from the results we had in all these years studying different cavities with my students, with the engineers, is that we need to decide every time probably a different solution. There is not the best solution for everything. We need to decide according to the remaining tooth structure. This is the main problem.
Okay. Yani her zaman mükemmel solüsyonlar elde edemeyiz. Bu çözümleri dişlerin, kavitenin durumuna göre ve kalan canlı dokunun miktarına göre karar vermeliyiz. Bütün en önemli kısım bu şekilde.
So, you know, discussing with friends, we spent all our life together with Roberto Spreafico, Lorenzo Vanini, meeting Didier many times, learning from them. What I learned is that from my experience, clinical experience, that nowadays, if you are faced, for example, just to show them one clinical case or something like that, go in the next one, probably we have some, yes, we have something. And you discover, go in the 31 and more.
Okay.
And you see something like this.
Yeah.
That means you see nothing, right? Same me. I saw nothing at the beginning.
Yeah, there is
Then you go, yes, exactly. You see that you have to do some new restorations and go on.
No. This is
next one.
Yeah.
And you open the cavities. You discover decays that you have seen in the X-ray.
Yeah.
And then you clean everything. You decide to do direct, indirect. It's up to you. You know, when I hear that the indication is in your hands, not in the book, not in the paper.
İndikasyon sizin elinizde. Hiçbir yayında veya hiçbir kayıtta, kitapta değil. Kaliteyi açıyorsunuz, temizliyorsunuz. Direkt mi, indirect mi siz karar veriyorsunuz. Okay.
And for sure you can restore with direct technique the first molar, the second molar. Go on.
Okay.
And you don't need to be an artist to do something normal. We are dentists. We are not artists. We are dentists. So,
Artist değiliz, dişçiyiz. Biz diş hekimiyiz, artist değiliz diyor. Herkes bunu diyor ama öyle olmuyor. Diş hekimi biraz artisttir diyeyim hadi. Peki, okay.
but as soon as you take a look at the first premolar, you will see this big, deep fracture into the dentin, deep into the dentin, the cracked tooth syndrome.
Ya, çatlak diş sendromuna geliyor.
No symptoms, no problem for the patient. Then you need to decide what I'm going to do here now.
Okay. Şimdi o zaman ne yapacağız? Yani hiçbir şey yok, semptom yok, bir şey yok. Ne yapacağız? Okay.
Then from my experience, from my research, what I going to do this is to try to send the less stress possible to the remaining structure.
Geri kalan diş dokularına mümkün olan en az stresi vermekle yükümlüyüm. Onu düşünüyorum. Okay.
Can you go one more?
Yeah.
And the less stress possible is to distribute all the stresses in the occlusal restoration. Then for sure we need to cover.
Buralardaki stresleri dağıtabilmek için tabii ki bu şeyleri, tüberkülleri içine alan bir restorasyon düşünmemiz lazım. Buradaki çatlağı olası ki olmuş burada çatlak, buradaki çatlağı toparlayabilmek için biraz daha geniş, biraz daha yayvan bir restorasyon düşünmemiz lazım. Okay?
Can you go in the next?
Yes.
And then you see, I told you again, no symptoms, no problems with this tooth. Just we discover it preparing for a direct restoration, but you cannot do that. You need to do an indirect restoration in this situation.
Evet, biz burada açtık, temizledik, direkt restorasyon yaptık fakat artık buralardan sonra direkt restorasyona gidemeyiz. Bunun indirect restorasyona dönmesi lazım. Okay?
If you go in the other one, they will see much more better.
Okay.
And then you can see the preps, very conservative. And the problem is what I'm going to use now. LDS, composite resin, zirconia, what? Probably I can use everything. But since we have seen that if I use on this kind of situation, on this kind of tooth, composite resin, the stress that I will send during the occlusal forces, it will be less if I use composite resin. Let me tell you that I still, and I'm not the only one, use the composite resin for this kind of restoration.
Okay. Burada herhangi bir restorasyonu kullanabilirdik. Porselen olabilir, zirkonya olabilir, kompozit olabilir. Ama biraz önceki konuştuğumuz stres dağılımları göz önüne alınca burada sadece ben değil, birçok arkadaşım burada kompozit rezin kullanmayı tercih eder streslerin daha rahat dağılması için. Okay.
And if you go with the full sequence,
yes, etching.
Yes, you can use etch and rinse, self-etching. It's up to you.
Yeah.
And then you try, you do all the things that you know very well, better than me.
Yes, isolations. Evet. Ondan sonra yapıştırıyoruz. Bunları bütün artık biliyoruz. Okay.
As you probably know, we all use the heated composite to restore, to cement this kind
burada
of.
ısıtılmış. What do you think about this heated composite nowadays? Also, is continuing to do that, or the
Absolutely, yes, yes. I don't know why I have to change. I will change when I will have something that will give me best results. The problem is that people old as me can show you 20 years control, 25 years control of this kind of restoration. And I want to show you something at the end.
Yeah, I know.
Using the same technique.
Francesco, we have 5 minutes remaining.
Yes.
Okay, you know that
just to finish.
They will cut the session.
No problem.
Maybe we can open another one if you like, but we can finish also in 5 minutes. It's
no problem.
Up to you.
No, it's up to you, no problem. So, but the concept is that we need to choose the restoration according to the remaining structure. That's why I would like to underline that the cavity prep is so important. If you trust only in adhesion, probably your failures will be higher than if you trust in a modern geometry of cavity prep, helping the adhesion. The combination of the two things make long-lasting restoration. I would like to ask to some of my colleagues, just if you take a look at all the papers written about longevity of this kind of restoration, the best results you will find 20 years controls and more. It's on CAD/CAM restorations.
Yeah.
CAD/CAM restoration made more than 20 years ago. They needed a geometry for the preparation.
Yeah.
This is the reason why. And I'm still waiting. The day I'll not be here anymore, I don't want to die, but I want to retire in my country house and, and to take care of tomatoes, carrots, and all things in my garden. But when I will see the same results without any prep or without something that is called prep, but it's not a prep, where everything is flat, everything is bonded.
Yeah.
And we need to understand that all we agree and we trust in the literature always, all we trust in the literature all the time is convenient for us.
Yeah.
It's convenient to demonstrate that we are right and all the others are wrong. After 40 years in this job, I feel totally comfortable. I feel myself honest when I say that for sure I believe in literature, but I want also to believe, I need to believe in clinical results.
Okay.
The evidence-based dentistry is very important, but the evidence has to be clinically proved.
Okay.
And I'm still waiting for that.
Okay, literatürün öneminden tabii çok bahsetti. Literatürün önemi artı klinik çalışmaların önemi birbiriyle bağlantılı olduğunda, uzun vadeli çalışmaların çok kıymetli olduğunu, kendisinin 40 seneyi aşkın çalışmalarında bütün bunları sırasıyla gördüğünü ve bunlara güvendiğini, inandığını ve de kendisinin gayet mutlu olduğunu söylüyor.